Today I've got something that's a little wild, a little strange, and absolutely intriguing. We're diving into one of the most anticipated movies of 2024, Nightbitch, starring the incredible Amy Adams. Now, if you're like me and enjoy a good story that makes you question reality, then Nightbitch is about to hit all the right notes. This one isn't just a movie, it's a journey into the complexities of motherhood, identity, and transformation, both literal and metaphorical. So, let's set the stage. Imagine a woman who steps away from her blossoming career as an artist to become a stay-at-home mom. You know, society sometimes paints this image of motherhood as serene and fulfilling, but this movie dives headfirst into the unspoken truths. Amy Adams plays a character who's feeling isolated, overwhelmed, and disconnected. You can sense that she's just trying to hold it all together. The pressures of being a new mom, the solitude, the strain it puts on her relationship with her husband, this movie doesn't shy away from the dark corners of that experience. And here's where it gets interesting. She starts to believe she's turning into a dog. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just some metaphor thrown in for kicks. It's a literal transformation. Or is it? Now, I know what you're thinking. A woman turning into a dog. That's bizarre, right? But this isn't just some surface-level transformation story. It's an exploration of how motherhood can feel consuming, even feral, at times. Picture this, you're in the middle of changing diapers, dealing with sleepless nights, and suddenly you notice a patch of fur growing on your back. Your teeth? Yeah, they're looking sharper by the day. It's as if her body is responding to the stresses of motherhood in the most primal way possible. And that's where Nightbitch sets itself apart from your typical motherhood story. It throws out the rulebook and embraces the strange, the surreal, and the terrifying. As Adam's character spirals deeper into this belief that she's becoming a dog, the lines between reality and fantasy blur. Her husband? He's mostly absent, off on business trips, completely unaware of the internal chaos she's dealing with. At first, she tries to convince herself that it's all in her head, stress manifesting in weird ways. But then things escalate. She starts to grow a tail, and that's when she can't ignore it anymore. The tension is palpable. And while her husband dismisses her concerns, telling her to see a doctor, she's left alone to confront this beast, quite literally, lurking beneath her skin. And here's where the movie gets even more fascinating. It doesn't stop at her physical changes. It dives into how she interacts with the world around her. Instead of avoiding what she fears she's becoming, she embraces it. She starts to connect with other mothers who may have had their own strange experiences. There's this sense of camaraderie, of shared secrets and struggles, that feels incredibly authentic despite the supernatural element. I mean, how often do we see a movie that tackles the isolation of motherhood and mixes in a neo-horror edge with a touch of dark humor? It's not just about the literal transformation into a dog, it's about the transformation into something unrecognizable when we lose touch with ourselves. It's about what happens when the parts of us that are wild and unrestrained come to the surface. And here's a fun tidbit. Amy Adams' performance in this role has already sparked buzz about whether this will finally be the role that lands her an Oscar. We've seen her do incredible things in films like American Hustle, The Fighter, and Arrival, but this might just be her boldest move yet. She's not afraid to get raw, to show the audience the ugly side of motherhood, the frustration, the anger, the sense of being caged. So what's the endgame here? Without giving away too many spoilers, I'll say this, the movie leaves you with more questions than answers, and that's the beauty of it. Is she really turning into a dog, or is it all in her head? The ambiguity is part of what makes this story stick with you long after the credits roll. It's one of those films where every viewer might come away with a different interpretation. Maybe it's a cautionary tale about losing oneself in the demands of motherhood. Maybe it's about reclaiming a sense of identity, no matter how wild that identity might seem to the outside world. Whatever it is, it's a story that's sure to spark conversation. And before we wrap up, I have to mention the director, Marielle Heller. If you're familiar with her work on Can You Ever Forgive Maine or A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, you know she's a master at blending emotional depth with offbeat narratives. In Nightbitch, she brings that same touch, giving us a movie that's equal parts unsettling and captivating. Alright folks, you know the drill. If you're as intrigued by Nightbitch as I am, drop a comment below and tell me what you think. Do you love movies that blur the line between reality and fantasy? Do you think Amy Adams is finally going to snag that Oscar? Let me know, and while you're at it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. For more info and details, check out the description below. This is Green Ground, where we keep it fresh, stylish, and always entertaining. Until next time.